All right, so the predictions of the majority of people in the United States ended up coming true. The Senate remained with the Republican Party, as everyone, who really understood anything projected, because it was something like 26 vacancies for the Democrats. Well, there were only 9. So any sort of obvious mathematical sense, you would know that the Democrats are not going to take the Senate back. Now, the House was projected to go Democrat, and what happened? It went Democrat. Pretty obvious stuff, right? Very, very trivial projections and who ended up being right, although I'm not much into the prediction business anyways. But anyways, so we're going to be looking at is this lunatic. His name is H.A. Goodman. You guys know him. He basically, it's tough to tell whether or not this guy was always a fraud or if he just turned into a fraud just to gain more relevancy. I don't know, but he now writes at the Daily Caller. If you don't know who H.A. Goodman is, the dude's a lunatic who went off the rails. He basically went from being a Bernie Sanders supporter. The guy literally kept making, like, 100 days into the Trump presidency, he was still making videos about, and he does, dude, my titles are cringe overload, right? I mean, they're purposefully massively cringe. This guy's are worse somehow. Somehow he makes it worse. Everything is capitalized, fully caps, with the most, bloviating and hyperbolic titles possible. And he, like 100 days into the Trump presidency, this dude is making predictions saying, or he's just making videos saying, Hillary to be indicted by Tuesday, Imran Awan, email scandal, DWS. Like, dude, we're into the Trump presidency. That shit is done. What are you doing? And the dude is the biggest lunatic on the entire planet. And so somewhere along the line of that, he turned into being just a full-on Republican, wears a MAGA hat, keisters it at night, has fun with it, if you know what I mean, gets a little excited and sort of lets it rain. But anyways, there's something interesting about this fool was that apparently there's a good chance he was never like actually a progressive, because my understanding of the situation was he probably was a fraudster from the jump, because my understanding was he was a Ron Paul supporter pre that. Now, someone can correct me on that, but if that's the case, it is very likely that the dude was just straight up being fraudulent completely. And I've been meaning to make a video about this douche for a couple days now, but this sort of just collided quite perfectly. So the genius himself, obviously media benefits from sensationalism. Everyone is guilty of that, including myself, everyone. So this guy has been spending the last however amount of time proclaiming that the Republicans are going to maintain the House, even though all of the projections and data say otherwise. It was he didn't care. It doesn't matter to him. Projections, data, numbers. What is that? I have lunacy on my side. So he has been proclaiming. You can go. He does like these live streams, and he does these coverages and says, the Republicans are going to maintain the House. This dude on this stream of the day, he was not bad. And by the way, let me throw this in there too. This guy legitimately thinks he's some sort of like Nostradamus. Like he thinks he's Nostradamus. He legit thinks he's Nostradamus. Even though the dude's been making indictment videos for like 10 years now and nothing actually ended up happening. This guy's a joke. He's a fraud. But what you're going to be looking at here is a bunch of clips. These clips are over the span of longer than an hour, by the way. I want you to be clear about that. So it's like, it's not, this is not like just like 5 minutes of a span. This is like over another hour. You can go through his live stream. But I'm going to show you guys some clips. This guy, first of all, there was a massive meltdown by conservatives after Fox News called the House for going for Democrats because the West Coast was left. Like, no shit, you morons. It's California. What do you think? Is California's going to turn red? Are you guys dumb? This is the intellect we're dealing with here. These people believe that Fox News is somehow trying to go undercut the Trump administration and the Republican Party. Are you dumb? It's the wing of the Republican Party. And on top of that, they were proclaiming that they were the ones who are now being victims of voter suppression. Fox News is voter suppressing. You're so dumb. It's insane. And this guy was part of that crowd. And oh my God, is it hilarious to see. Again, anybody with any mathematical sense knows, oh, wait, the West Coast is very liberal. California, very blue. So, yeah, it probably makes sense to project that. And only an idiot wouldn't. And H.A. Goodman, of course, did not. Now, this is going to be hilarious because he's going to refuse for like 2 hours. I shit you not. This dude's going to be doing this for like 2 hours. He's just going to be denying. He's going to deny. He's going to say no, no, no to whether or not the Republicans have lost the House. And then once it happens, he's going to pivot away. Please check this out. Prepare to laugh.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It's showtime. We're going to keep the House. So Democrats are out of their minds. Media is out of their minds if they think that in a great economy that people want Nancy Pelosi. They want to go back in time. Everything the Democrats have touched has turned to Bandini. Fox can now project the Democrats take the House for the first time in 8 years, dealing a major setback. How? This is how? Based on what? Yeah, I don't see that. So I don't know what's going on. So, okay. I have no clue how they... there's no way to call the House now, so that's fake news. That is absolutely fake news. Democrats projected to take the House? No, Fox is wrong on that. Dems take House? What is how? Fox News projects Dems will capture the House of Representatives. How? Oh my God, that's a scary photo of Adam Schiff. Oh my God, that's a scary photo of Pelosi and Jerry Nadler. Dem projects to take House. Dem projected win by the projected win. What does that even mean? The win by Democrats? How? They need 23 seats. They have a net of 2. That's ridiculous. All right, let's see here. No way. That has to be some kind of ridiculous. It's only a likely prediction, not certain why they're saying to keep people watching. Now, I think it's to keep people watching. They're looking at Illinois, it's 90% Dems. JM, yes, Dems going to win the House by a slim margin. It's all good. JM, I don't. Centerville, TN, it looks like Tennessee voted straight Republican, 60%, now one Dem, one. But they're looking, they might be looking at Texas. I have no clue how that's even possible. So Texas political midterms, House of Representatives. I'm not looking at anything here. There is nothing here that says that Republicans lost the House. Rumi Callis. Dem's going to win the House by a slim margin. It's all good. I mean, they could lose it by a slim margin too. I don't see why they'd call it. It looks like Tennessean votes. There's no way to call the House, as you know. We have Florida. Trump knew we have to win Florida. Exactly. Jackie Holm, there's no way to call the House. They're just trying to troll the planet. Fox just wants people to look at them. There's no way to call the House. There's just no way. I don't know how much. Rumi! Thank you. Yeah, they keep saying Fox projects based on what? Based on what? If 538 isn't embarrassed, Dems gain 12 seats. I am certainly not embarrassed. I'm going to go 1,000% strong. 1,000% strong. Every single pollster on the planet was off in 2016. I was right. So all 7,785 people, tell everyone, whatever happens, I'll be good, very good. I called the DeSantis and Rick Scott win. I called Cruz. If you have entire media, complete media insanity, collusion, Trump tweets something, it's insanity. Plus, they outspent again, but it's still not called. So Dems gain 12 seats. Yeah, it's supposed to be close. So I have no idea what they're looking at, but They're probably looking at a lot of the seats in Texas right now. No way. I'm not going to be embarrassed over anything. I have the pulse of what's going on 1,000,000 times more than most other, I should say. Well, definitely more than mainstream. So they'll lose 3 more in Texas. They're relying on California because I don't think that you need 23 seats to take the House. I don't know where they're going to get the remaining seats. CNN stating Dems currently leading in 23 Republican districts. We have West coming in. Dems leading in 23 Republican districts. Well, that's depending on how much of the precincts. They need 7 more seats. So it's like, and the left, like every single major candidate on the left that the left said was going to win did not win. So again, I was right about that. But, if the Russian hacking nonsense won, that just shows that the media unfortunately has the influence. Nothing for me to be embarrassed about. It's actually an embarrassment for the country. We have to all deal with Nancy Pelosi forever, or for 2 years. Nancy Pelosi, we did it, everyone. She might be saying that. I don't think she will. I'm not giving up hope, but that's right. Ebenezer Adams, Oregon reporting GOP could flip 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Yeah, if they flip even 2 seats, Democrats are done. I think the Democrats are going to, if you're wrong, admit your mistake to your viewers. How could I not admit the mistake if Democrats win the House? Obviously, I won't have anything to admit. They'll be wrong. Obviously I'll be wrong. But the thing is, I was right about the Senate. I was right about 2016. I was right about the Russian hacking nonsense. So, and I'll be right that I got to get a catheter. No, I won't have to go to the restroom for a while. CNN says Dems have 22 pickups. So if you have 22, then they won. But Politico doesn't say that. I got DeSantis right. I got Cruz right. I got Rick Scott right. I got the Senate right. And I'm going to get the House right. So I don't see what the issue is. Okay. God bless you all. Thank you. We have nothing to be, look, I'm not defending myself. Yes, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay. But I'm right about other things too. So the same people who would detract from me need to understand that I have been right about the Senate. I was right about Gillum losing. I was right about DeSantis winning. I was right about Rick Scott winning. Hawley won. Braun won. I was right about all those. All
right, so oh man, this is pure comedy. Watching lunacy at work is so goddamn hilarious. This guy it's unbelievable. So again, just to reiterate, this dude has been making videos for I think weeks on end, if I'm not mistaken, about how the Republicans are going to win over the House. And I know this because I've been planning on making this video for a couple days now. But he's basically been proclaiming that the Republicans are going to take back the House, despite there being no evidence to actually prove that in any way, shape, or form. And so what you see throughout that progression is, in the beginning, he flips out at Fox News for calling the most boneheaded call ever, which is that, it's projected the Democrats are going to win because the West Coast is left and the West Coast is left wing. And so, again, anybody, 2 brain cells rubbed together can understand that call. And it makes sense. And so he flips out at that. I found that to be hilarious. And I was, what? Why? Huh? That's impossible. And so he starts out with denying that. And then as the data for the House of Representatives comes out, he not only continues to assert that he's not wrong, but he starts to obfuscate in the process. So he goes, even if it doesn't happen, I was right about the Senate. What kind of a Nostradamus do you have to be to predict the Senate? Are you dumb? It's the Senate. There were 26 vacancies between Democrats and independents who caucus with Democrats, and there were fucking 9 vacancies of Republican incumbents. It does not take a genius to pick that. Everybody knew the Senate was staying red. If you thought that the Senate was going blue, I don't even know what you were thinking. You had to be dumb to think that, okay? And I'm trying not to be overly rude here, but how could you think that? I mean, mathematically speaking, we've known this ever since for the longest time. I mean, you go back in interviews I did with people where I talk about that, and it's just it was impossible. It's like, what kind of a prediction master are you? What kind of a Nostradamus are you to pick the Senate? The Senate was the easiest thing to pick since freaking, I don't know, something super easy to pick. The Cavaliers getting stomped in the finals last year. I mean, it's such an easy thing. You'd have to be stupid to have picked otherwise. And so he starts obfuscating because he realizes that, oh shit, what I've been saying this whole time is total bunk, and it doesn't make any actual sense. And so he starts switching. He goes, oh, well, we still have right to celebrate. And apparently this dude was going to piss like a bunch of times. I don't know. It was kind of weird. Where like someone made a comment about it and he responded saying, oh, no, I probably shouldn't have to go to the bathroom in a while. What the fuck kind of stream is this, bro? What am I watching? Oh my god! And the dude puts on a "Make America Great Again" hat. Oh, and behind him, the dude's got George Orwell. Oh man, do I hate people who use George Orwell? It's so annoying because, well, the people who use it, unironically, is what I mean. Obviously, George Orwell was he was a democratic socialist. People don't know that. Well, lefties probably know that, but I guarantee you, if you polled a majority of people who know who George Orwell is, a vast majority will tell you that they don't know that he was a democratic socialist. I learned about George Orwell in sophomore year. I didn't know that he was a democratic socialist until last year. So that is the way that people are educated today. Oh man, the dude literally fought physically for Catalonia, anarchist Spain. He was barely away from being the farthest possible left you can go of being an anarchist. In fact, he might have been, you could maybe even make the argument that he was an anarchist because he literally fought for an anarchy. So you could still make that argument, but the guy was a democratic socialist. When I say democratic socialist, I don't mean social democrat. This dude was a full-on lefty. Read Homage to Catalonia. This guy was a socialist economy / direct democracy, which is what democratic socialism is. So it's hilarious when people unironically use the George Orwell shit behind them. Like, you don't know anything about George Orwell, dude. Stop tripping. And I'm surprised that he sort of switched his background from the WikiLeaks thing that used to be there. I'm pretty sure that's what was behind him. But this guy is a complete fraud, and everybody knows that now, right? Everybody knows that now. But this guy's a straight lunatic, man. It's crazy. And I've sort of been covering this guy's rise to insanity, rise to railing off the, just going off the rails, railing off. He used to do like this show with Tim Black, I believe, like this thing they would do like once a week called No Sellouts. I think that's what it's called. And I guess that got discontinued after H.A. Goodman turned into a Trumpy. And also, I believe that there are some other ties that H.A. Goodman has with other people too. But basically, the dude's completely gone off the rails, right? He's gone completely insane. He is a complete lunatic, outside of reality, does not understand basic shit, as we just saw here with him totally denying that the Democrats took over the House, despite the fact that the Democrats clearly took over the House. And so these two things perfectly collided for me because I was going to talk about this dude being a fraud. But this meltdown and obfuscation for like 2 hours, and I can't explain this enough, you guys. This wasn't like a meltdown over like 5 minutes. This wasn't a denial for 5 minutes. This was a denial over the span of like 2 hours. For 2 hours, this guy is making shit up about why the Republicans haven't won the House. And the funniest part about it was he would go, oh, well, even if I'm wrong, which I'm not, we still are going to celebrate because, I was right about the Senate. Again, dude, you're not Nostradamus for picking the Senate. Anyone with 2 brain cells to rub together knew that the Republicans were going to maintain the Senate. It's basic math. 26 to defend, 9 to defend. Very basic stuff, very basic math, very basic numbers. You're not Nostradamus. In fact, you're the dumbest predictor on the planet. You thought that the House was going to go Republican? You're a moron. And on top of that, this guy's been making indictment videos for like 10 years now, dude. It's insane. This guy's a total imbecile. And I thought that you guys would get quite a good laugh at this guy because he's insane. That's the truth.